Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to first official YouTube video. I'm excited. You should be excited. So let's get into Jacob reviews. So today we will be reviewing, or right now I'll be reviewing The Legend of Tarzan. It's the most recent adaptation of the classic novel written by Edgar Rice Burroughs, who you should check out, by the way. He's a phenomenal writer. He also has a book series called Princess of Mars. He's dead now, okay? He's from like the 1900s, so he's not like a modern Stephen King or anybody, but no, still, he's a great author. Very ahead of his time, I would say. And this movie is kind of, you can call me like a fanboy of Tarzan, if you will, I guess. I do love the story of Tarzan. I love the whole concept, you know, a man, his parents crash into a jungle, his very rich, entitled parents, crash land on the jungle, and they die, and he gets rescued and adopted by an ape family, and he gets raised by gorillas, and, the rest is history. So yeah, so I love that whole concept. I will say this is kind of like a special place in my heart. That's it's 1999 animated Tarzan. The animated Tarzan is probably my favorite Disney animated movie ever, and it's actually the first movie I remember seeing in theaters. So there's that. So pretty much, it's a very funny coincidence that the first movie I have memory of, seeing in theaters, which is probably when I was 5, I would say. And now I'm reviewing, the most recent interpretation of the character. It's like my first review. So I think that's really cool. So just timing worked out beautifully for all of this. Here we go. So, this movie is directed by David Yates. He directed the most recent Harry Potter movies. I think he directed the Half-Blood Prince, and he did direct Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. So, that was him, if you're wondering. I don't hate him as a director at all. And when I looked up, about a year ago, I would say, I looked up information about this movie too, and saw that it was being made, and I was very curious. I was extremely skeptical, because I'm like, okay, no one's gonna hold up to, animated Tarzan. Call me biased with that opinion, but that's just what I thought. But, hey, I'm open to new territory. So yeah, so this movie, as a whole, I would say, if I could give it, the best way I can put it is, that's the best way I can put it. It was very meh. It was very okay, I would say. I didn't love it, okay? I didn't hate it, I want to say it takes a lot for me to hate a movie, but that would kind of make me sound not picky, and I don't want to sound like that. I want to have standards, you know what I mean? I'm not that guy who can just turn off my brain, watch a movie. No, film is an art, it's a visual medium, and you gotta respect it as such, so you gotta be a little bit critical of it, or in my case, a lot of it. When it comes to this movie, the opening scene, that really kind of, like, that got me. I love the opening scene, and I love how they actually did take a few lines straight out of the book in the opening scene. They kind of, it's kind of like a black background, and it just shows words, kind of explaining the plot here and there. And it actually does, quote the book directly, verbatim. I was actually surprised. And the moment I saw that pop up on the screen when the movie began, I was like, oh, all right, here we go. And the music was phenomenal, by the way. I love the music. The opening music was even more amazing. It was probably the best part, was the opening music. It was really the kind of African warlord sort of, and I thought that was really cool. I'm like, all right, yeah. I feel the jungle, I feel Tarzan, like I'm feeling that vibe run through my veins. And then the movie continued. And okay. So pretty much every character in this movie and every plot point it's very mediocre and by the numbers. I'm very open to what they were trying to introduce to us, and that was, this isn't the origin story of Tarzan, okay? This is Tarzan who has already been Tarzan. This is like years after, Jane finds him, and, he was raised by apes. Like, this is like Tarzan years later. It felt like I was watching the sequel to Tarzan in a way. It kind of, you had that vibe. It is years later, and he's older, he's more sophisticated. He doesn't act like an ape and all, which kind of took me off guard. It took me off guard to hear him speak and be smart and be intelligent when he speaks. That caught me off guard because I'm not used to seeing that. I've always seen kind of the dumbfounded, whoa, Jade.
Razor. Razor.
Razor. Kind of persona of Tarzan. So to see him talk intelligently and fluently, that caught me off guard. But again, I'm open to a newer character of Tarzan. I'm open to that. That's fine. But yeah. So this is years later after Tarzan has been Tarzan. And he pretty much, he has a long history in the jungle. Him and Jane, they're married at this point. And apparently they had been, helping out a lot of African tribes there and getting them out of slavery, making sure that they were educated, things of that nature. That was pretty cool. So they have a long history of that. Years after that, they're just kind of living in a mansion because Tarzan's actually the heir to a big fortune, the Greystoke fortune. So that's pretty much the plot line, and they pretty much hear word of slavery in the jungle. Somebody is, just going after African tribes, enslaving them, and they're mining diamonds, or they're wanting to. They hear word of that, and this kind of gets Tarzan. He's like, wait, what? Nope. So Samuel L. Jackson, this whole board of just these English gentlemen, they're trying to persuade him to go to the jungle. And finally, Samuel L. Jackson convinces him somehow, and they go, and pretty much it's Tarzan trying to rescue. His wife gets captured by Christopher Waltz, who's the villain in this movie, and his wife gets captured by him, and it's him rescuing his wife and rescuing the people who were enslaved. So yeah. There's that whole plot line. Now, the plot is actually not bad. I will say the plot's not bad at all. The plot works, but it's just the execution that completely failed this movie. It had a lot going for it. It really did. When I read information about it years ago, or a year ago, it had a lot of different writers attached to the project. So there's that. Pretty much, just the whole execution was just very poorly delivered. As far as the script goes, the script is what annoyed me the most about this movie. The dialogue was just cheesy, campy. I did not like the script at all. I did not care for the script. It really kind of turned me off, and I didn't really like it. Let's get down to the characters and the acting. So the guy who plays Tarzan, let's start with him. Alexander Skarsgård. He has been in True Blood. He played a vampire in that. Him as Tarzan. By the way, he was a blonde Tarzan, which kind of got me, but whatever. Just a petty little detail. But so him as Tarzan, he did try. I will give him that credit. He did try, but he just came off as so bland and just like he had this kind of swag going on with him to where he's like, I'm a hero of this movie. He kind of had that going for him, and to me that just kind of. I couldn't roll with that, and the entire movie, I could not take him seriously. And he looked like an Abercrombie and Fitch model.
Oh my gosh.
He gets shirtless, and of course he's got this ridiculously chiseled physique, and I'm just sitting here going, gosh, you're making me look fat, Makes me out of reality too when a guy's that cut at that time, growing up the way he did. That's just, I don't know, that just doesn't seem realistic, but I mean, whatever. At certain points, he was posing for the camera. He was just stopping, going, oh, I'm sorry, camera, did you not get a lovely shot of my chiseled physique? So, you can tell he was doing that, and it just, it bothered me. It just really grinded my gears. I was like, stop it. So, I couldn't take him seriously as Tarzan, and I felt like he was kind of bland and boring. And the girl who played Jane, Margot Robbie, bless my heart, hope to die.
Hallelujah, thank God.
She's a gorgeous actor. She's a great actress. I really see her going places, and I can't wait to see how she does Harley Quinn. And I also found her performance as Jane very bland and boring and generic. But yeah, all in all, I just couldn't take her seriously, and her chemistry with Tarzan, it was so cheesy. It was so cheesy. Christoph Waltz pretty much plays Heinz from, Inglourious Bastards. He pretty much just plays every villain he's ever played. He was probably the most fun part of the movie to me. I really enjoyed his character in the movie. He had some cool parts to his character that I really enjoyed, so he might have been my favorite character in the movie. And Samuel L. Jackson, okay, so I don't know what he was doing in this movie. He definitely had the most fun in this movie, I would say, but it's like they took Julius from Pulp Fiction.
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you.
And they just crammed him into this Tarzan movie. That's who I was seeing. I was seeing Julius from Pulp Fiction in a Tarzan movie. They just put him in 1800s clothing. That's pretty much what they did. And I couldn't take him seriously either. So pretty much, all in all, this movie, I didn't expect much of it. I actually expected it to be a flop. I didn't see it going anywhere. When I went to see it that night, the theater was jam-packed, to my surprise. So a good few people saw this movie. I don't think it's gonna be number one in the world, obviously, but a few people saw this movie. And I didn't expect it to be an Oscar winner, and I didn't expect it to be that good. I pretty much thought it would be very bland, generic, mediocre. It just really, all in all, not that memorable or not that good. And that's pretty much what it was. What it felt like to me was, it felt like I was watching a cheesy 90s action movie with modern cinematography. It really felt like watching that, and that, to me, kind of took me out of the experience. The visuals, the cinematography was gorgeous. The jungle was gorgeous. They had a gorgeous setting. They had gorgeous cinematography, camera work, and that in part impressed me. And I love the music too. The music was amazing. But all in all, it was just a very cheesy, mediocre, bland mess that could have been way better than it was. But it had so many good things going for it, but just really poor execution all in all. So having all of that said, I will give this movie a 6 out of 10 gorillas. So so that's pretty much my 2 cents on it. Now, if you enjoy this movie as just a good old fun movie, I completely understand, but I didn't really care for it personally. I thought it was very meh. Okay. So yeah, there you have it. That is my first review ever. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I guess that's what every YouTuber tends to say, and here I am saying it, following the crowd. Like and subscribe. Feel free to comment. Yeah. So see ya. Okay, so having all that said about this Tarzan movie, which I found to be underwhelming, I will recommend this. As far as Tarzan movies go, a ton of them, and even TV shows, are just dumb, cheesy interpretations of Tarzan, of his character. So having that said, check out the good ones, and these are the good ones I'm going to recommend to you. Obviously, the 1999 animated Tarzan movie. That's a great movie to me. I thought it was a well done movie. Check that out. You probably already have. Everybody's seen that. But another one I will recommend to you is, it's probably the one Tarzan movie that is closest to the book, and it's called Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes. It was made in about '83, and it stars Andie MacDowell, and it stars also Christopher Lambert, who was in Highlander, if you know that movie. So that is a spectacular movie. It's very accurate to the book, and it's a very well done film. So check that movie out. And always, thank you so much for watching. Oh, I'm sorry, camera. Did you not get a lovely shot of my chiseled physique?